Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Right now at 5. Today marks 1 year since the COVID-19 pandemic shut down America. President Biden will address the nation tonight. What he'll talk about, plus his next priority, now that his $1.9 trillion relief package has passed. Plus, here at home, the latest on the search for a man who broke into a woman's car in southwest Bakersfield and allegedly sexually assaulted her. Is winter done with us yet? A look back at the storm yesterday as we get more showers and snow in our mountains overnight. But how long is it expected to last? Kevin has your forecast on this Thursday, March 11th, 2021. Good morning, Kern County. Thanks so much for starting your day with us. It is Friday, Junior, everyone, and yesterday, my goodness, it was great to see that storm blow on through. And when we thought we had at least a taste of spring just a couple of weeks ago, or even days ago, Old Man Winter just decided to hang around just a little longer. And last night, Maddie, I know yesterday you saw the snow in Tehachapi up in the mountains. Last night, though, here in Bakersfield, some areas, especially in areas of the Northwest, they saw so much hail, it looked like it had snowed, the streets covered in ice. Maddie?
Yeah, I saw some pictures of that on Alyssa Carlson's social media. Really cool to see. And again, this morning I had to drive through snow to get to work this morning. We had a couple of snow showers as I was heading down the mountain. And then once I got into town, of course, we saw the rain showers. So the question is, how much longer is this storm going to last? Let's check in with Kevin now. He has a look at that.
Well, it reminds me when I moved here 15 years ago, we had a hail event, and I went outside to look at it, and the neighborhood kids were saying, it's snowing, and I tried to correct them and say, no, it was hail. They gave me the dirtiest look, and I learned that day that in Bakersfield, hail is the same as snow. So, at least to the kids anyway. But yesterday was definitely a busy weather day. We saw snow in the mountains, rain, hail, thunderstorms. Right now, things are winding down. We are still under the gun for a few showers today. We've had some snow showers just in the last hour up in the Tehachapi area. But you can see here on satellite and radar, things are fairly quiet. I want to show you some video I shot yesterday, and you can see the rain was really coming down at my home here in the west side of Bakersfield. Thunderstorm rolled on through, had even a little bit of flooding in the backyard. So definitely yesterday in the afternoon when these thunderstorms rolled on in, we saw plenty of water with it. And Alex actually sent this picture in yesterday from the west side, and you can see he captured some thunderstorm activity. So it was definitely a busy day. We're not expecting it to be as busy today. Now for the month of March, look at that, 0.26, and we're down only 1/1600ths of an inch now, so that's good news. Wet pavement downtown right now, as we did see some showers not long ago, 45 degrees under a calm wind. And throughout the day, we'll be looking at a mix of sun and clouds, but I think a lot of the moisture will start to come to an end. Out of Tehachapi, you've got a few snow showers still happening out there. You can see the snow on the cars in the parking lot. 30 degrees. It is cold. A north-northwest wind at 6. And as we go throughout the day, a mix of sun and clouds and even a few snow showers can't be ruled out this afternoon. And for the valley, we're still under the gun for maybe a few isolated thunderstorms as well. We'll talk more weather in just a little bit. For now, back over to you.
All right, sure was fun to see. Thanks so much, Kev. Your time now is 5:03. 1 year ago today, the coronavirus pandemic shut down America. 365 days later, we've seen 30 million people infected with the virus and more than 500,000 die from it. Tracy Potts has more on how President Biden will mark this somber anniversary and how he plans to move forward.
Maddie, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Moving forward with that massive rescue plan just approved by Congress, including stimulus checks. More on this from the president tonight.
To reach those who have been hit the hardest.
President Biden will address the nation tonight, marking 1 year since the coronavirus pandemic shut down America.
I'm going in prime time to address the American people and talk about what we've been through as a nation this past year. But more importantly, I'm going to talk about what comes next.
Next, getting 300 million people vaccinated.
90% of people are still unprotected and not yet vaccinated.
The federal government is ordering 100 million more doses of the one-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine, promising enough for every adult by the end of May.
The motion is adopted.
The American Rescue Plan, just approved by Congress, includes $7.5 billion for vaccine distribution.
This isn't a rescue bill. It isn't a relief bill. It's a laundry list of left-wing priorities.
The plan includes aid for governments, schools, businesses, and families.
You will receive $1,400 checks by the end of March. Help is on the way.
Direct deposits could start next week. Not one Republican voted for it, concerned about the $1.9 trillion price tag.
Beware, there's no such thing as free money.
What is wrong with you? We are going to act with the fierce urgency of now.
Now, new cases, hospitalizations, and death rates are dropping as President Biden prepares to sign the bill tomorrow. Then he hits the road to sell it to the public, starting in Pennsylvania on Tuesday. I'm Tracy Potts, 17 News.
Now the latest on the coronavirus pandemic here in Kern County. And after 3 straight days of no new deaths being reported from our public health department, local officials reported 6 new deaths yesterday. Now, just a reminder, these deaths did not occur yesterday, but rather date back to December and January. 948 people have now died since the beginning of the pandemic. 66 new cases were reported yesterday. We're seeing an average of about 140 people getting infected daily. That number has continuously dropped over the last several months. State data shows 112 people are in the hospital with COVID-19. 33 are in the ICU. Last night, KGET and other Nexstar stations in California aired a town hall focused on ending the pandemic, where state health leaders weighed in on how California moves forward and the vaccine process that's underway. When can we go maskless? When will everyone have access to shots? Will vaccines be mandatory? These are just some of the questions state and local health leaders addressed in our town hall. California Surgeon General Dr. Nadine Burke-Harris couldn't say when exactly Californians could go maskless, but said access to vaccines for everyone is expected in the coming months. Teachers are now among those eligible in California's push to reopen schools. State Senator Dr. Richard Pan, who authored laws strengthening California's vaccine rules for children, was asked if the vaccine should eventually be mandatory for kids.
This is not the time to talk about mandating COVID vaccines, particularly for children. As you mentioned, they actually aren't approved for children yet. And we actually still have a shortage of vaccine in terms of trying to vaccinate everyone who actually wants the vaccine. So let's focus on that first.
Our panel of health experts said some vaccine trials are underway for children, and doses could be available to teens as early as this fall. If you would like to watch the full town hall, just head to our website, kget.com. And tonight, NBC will mark 1 year since COVID-19 was declared a global pandemic with a special dateline from the Lincoln Memorial, anchored by Lester Holt and Savannah Guthrie. COVID, 1 year later, life after lockdown, will air right here tonight at 7 p.m.
The FDA approved the use of the single-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine at the end of February, and last week distribution started here in Kern County. 17's Ileana Capelan spoke to officials at a local pharmacy, which received its J&J vaccines earlier this week.
Innovia Pharmacy, previously known as Express Pharmacy Brimhall, has been using the Moderna vaccine since December. This week, they received their first 500 doses of the newly released Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
We've been increasing the number of vaccinated people due to the increase of available vaccines for us. And that's why having Johnson & Johnson right now is going to be a great addition, because we should be able to vaccinate more people.
Innovia has vaccinated more than 5,000 people, recently partnering with the Panama Buena Vista Union School District to get educators vaccinated against the virus. This will be the first Johnson & Johnson vaccine clinic for the pharmacy.
A big advantage of J&J vaccine being a one-dose vaccine. Let's say we have 500 doses of J&J. That means that we are going to vaccinate 500 individuals, and these people are going to reach the maximum protection within 3-4 week period.
Heichel says 500 Pfizer or Moderna vaccines would only be vaccinating 250 people because they require 2 doses compared to the single dose required for immunity with the J&J vaccine.
Johnson & Johnson would help reach out a much larger number of people in much less time. This in turn would help us reach the herd immunity in a shorter time.
When the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was initially announced, speculations about the effectiveness arose quickly.
So the main concerning outcome that we are after when we vaccinate the public is to prevent death cases and hospitalization. And in fact, this is achieved at 100% rate with all vaccines, Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. Now, the efficacy rate refers to something else, which is reducing the symptoms that come with COVID-19 virus. After all, the bottom line is they are all very effective in combating the pandemic.
That was 17's Ileana Capelan reporting. And we have some breaking news coming in this morning out of Oildale right now of a large fire at a structure there. 17's Ileana Capelan is joining us live now from the scene. She arrived just a few minutes ago. And Ileana, what do you know so far?
Yeah, Maddie, so around 4:30 this morning, reports came in of a structure fire starting in a basement here in Oildale on Woodrow Avenue. I'm going to take a step to the side so you can get a good look at what the house is looking like right now. We currently have Kern County Fire Department, Bakersfield Fire Department, Kern County Sheriffs out here on the scene working to put out this fire. As you can see, there's still smoke coming out of the home. Apparently, a structure fire, as I mentioned, broke out at 4:30, and it has spread to a second home. We haven't gotten an update yet on whether anyone was inside the house when the fire broke out, and no word yet on any injuries. Kern County firefighters are actively working to put out the blaze, and several engines are on scene. We'll continue to keep you updated on this fire throughout the morning as we learn more. Right now, this is all we know so far. Reporting live in Oildale, Ileana Capelan, 17 News.
All right, thank you, Ileana. Our time now is 5:12. Bakersfield College wrapped up the second day of its COVID-19 vaccination clinic yesterday. The clinic was held at Levinson Hall. If you missed it, BC's teaming up with Dignity Health for a drive-through vaccine clinic in the stadium parking lot on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. On March 15th, there will be a clinic at BC's Delano campus. You need to bring a photo ID, insurance card as well to your appointment. Of course, it's important to know if you qualify to get the vaccine. And we are still in phases 1A and 1B. Those eligible include anyone ages 65 and up, healthcare workers and first responders, plus teachers, child care workers, those in emergency services, and people who work in the food and ag industry. If you're in one of those eligible groups, you can sign up for an appointment using the state's website, myturn.ca.gov, or call 833-422-4255.
Making headlines around the nation now, jury selection continues today in the murder trial of a former Minneapolis police officer, Derek Chauvin. Yesterday, the Minnesota Supreme Court said it would not hear Chauvin's argument to overturn an appeals court ruling that said a third-degree murder charge against him was improperly dismissed by District Judge Peter Cahill. Judge Cahill says the matter will be addressed this morning before jury selection resumes. Chauvin is charged with second-degree murder and manslaughter in the May 25th killing of George Floyd, who died after the officer knelt on his neck for about 8 minutes. A sixth woman has come forward with allegations of sexual harassment by New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. The aide to Cuomo says the government groped her in his home. That's according to a report in the Times-Union of Albany. The paper is reporting that the woman was alone with Cuomo late last year when he closed a door, reached under her shirt, and fondled her. The governor responded to the article saying he's never done anything like that. He has repeatedly denied that he inappropriately touched anyone, but has said he is sorry if he made anyone uncomfortable and did not intend to do so. New York State Attorney General has put together an investigative team to probe Cuomo's workplace conduct.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Your time now is 5:26. In your Business Watch, good news for Taco Bell lovers. Some fans
see long-term negative physical and mental health consequences.
The poll also found several groups, including essential workers, communities of color, and parents, were more likely to report negative physical and mental impacts.
We're going to have to figure out a different way of approaching these groups and supporting them. How can we really reach people where they are, in the schools, at work, in their communities, at churches?
Calls for continued and innovative mental health care on the anniversary of the COVID pandemic.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.